What's going on, everybody? Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. Much appreciated. Hope everybody's having a fantastic week out there. If you guys could subscribe to this channel. Also, watch Tobin and Leroy weekdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the WQM YouTube channel as well. Appreciate everybody there in the community checking us on out. Weekdays live, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And, of course, you can watch on demand at your leisure. Had Fred Taylor on this week. The great Fred Taylor. Should be a Hall of Famer. Also, fan of the idea of Dalvin Cook coming to the Miami Dolphins, which I was kind of goosed up about. I'm not going to lie. Dalvin Cook still yet to make a decision on where he wants to go. I feel like this is, if anything was going to linger more than Damian Lillard to the Heat, I guess it's been Dalvin Cook to the Miami Dolphins, which, doesn't feel like there's been a lot of movement on either side. The deals are known. Everybody's kind of up for knowing where they stand on each. It kind of feels like maybe Dalvin Cook is waiting for an injury. I don't know. It's all up there. But we know, based on I will say this about Dalvin Cook. A lot of people go about social media in a fun way sometimes when things are going on. And Dalvin Cook, I like the fact that he basically just likes everything. Dalvin Cook just goes out there and he likes, anything that relates to him being signed in free agency. It doesn't really matter to the team, but it does feel naturally like the place where he'd want to go would be home. I think if all things being equal, home would be the place you want to go. And Fred Taylor, legend, he said the same thing.
I think, obviously, Miami makes the most sense. If you look at the weapons around them, I think they're more established. Look at what they did a year ago. Look at, the play caller, here. So I think they have a more explosive offense, and I think he can enhance that. He would definitely cater more or create more one-on-one opportunities for those receivers, with teams having to bring the eighth defender in the box to try to stop the run game. And I also think vice versa, he has to look at what those receivers can do to help him. They're going to create a lot of cover two opportunities where they have to try and double these guys. And now defenses will be light in the box. And it'll give him more opportunity to go out there. And since we've been talking about Saquon and longevity and injuries, I think that he will have an opportunity to take less carries if he came to Miami, because they have so many guys to spread the ball around to. And that doesn't necessarily mean that injuries don't find you. It only takes one play, as we know. But I just think that they can spread the ball around to so many different playmakers all over the field here in Miami, and it would be so exciting to watch. I just don't think the Jets have the exact same makeup that the Dolphins have offensively. They do have a veteran quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. That helps a lot. But I just think overall the Miami would be a better fit for Dalvin. And as far as the money, the longer you wait, the longer these teams are going to play games with you. They're going to all say, well, you're not getting these type of offers here and there. Why haven't you signed yet? And then you sort of lose leverage. So if I were Dalvin, I would certainly try to find me a home, for an extended period of time.
So as you hear from Fred, he believes that this would be a place that makes sense for him. I don't know if it's going to be the money that Fred Taylor was throwing out there. Fred Taylor was throwing out some big money for Dalvin Cook. I don't know if he's going to get that kind of money, but I get it. Listen, the running backs be frustrated with how much they're not getting paid, and I kind of get the frustration level of it right now. The one thing I would say about this, argue whether or not you're into the Dolphins because their yards per carry last year was pretty good. McDaniel, another year in the system. Maybe he gets a better feel for rhythm of things. I mean, it's also understandable why you give the ball so much to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, why you maybe wouldn't go in the direction of getting a big money running back, which it doesn't feel like anybody's going that direction anymore. I don't really know what the tipping point of that was. I feel like it was Todd Gurley, but I'm not quite sure. Just the age that guys aren't getting paid at. Or they feel really good about where they are at with their rookie. And I found this interesting. If you guys didn't see this, Tua Tagovailoa, he did a really cool thing, showed up to a high school, gave him a bunch of equipment and things like that, but did a couple of interviews did a one-on-one with Joe Shad at the Palm Beach Post. Little Q&A. I love the Q&A. I don't, sometimes, you reading an article is nice, but I like a little back and forth. And Tua Tagovailoa, impressed by Devon Achane, who I think out of all the picks this year, that's the one I think everybody's the most excited about. Speed back, track star, fast as hell, kind of fits in with everything that they have here. And Joe had asked him, when we watched it in spring, some guys kind of stood out. Were Azukama, he looks improved. Achane, he looks like he's got potential. Chosen Anderson impressed. And Tua, he said to this, that Achane has been very impressive throughout the first OTAs that we had. I think when you look at the practices that we've had, he's shown some pretty cool bursts of speed. His hands, understanding the plays, he's done a really good job with that. Also giving some rave reviews to the other guys there and Chosen and Easy E. But Achane is, I think, interesting because, look, if you get that young running back who does kind of burst onto the scene out of nowhere, that's kind of the gold mine everybody's looking for right now, right? Like, and then by the time Devon Achane, by the time you're 26, you're over the hill, buddy. Get the hell out of there. They got the timeline of Playboy Playmates now. It's like, oh, you're 25, too old to be a franchise running back. We're not paying you. But seriously, like, if Devon Achane can do something here, yeah, it does feel like the need for Dalvin Cook is even less so. But we know that the Dolphins are interested. We know that the Dolphins are interested in Dalvin Cook. They've been in trade rumors with him. They got an offer out to him. So it's not like, even with that being said, they're not hamstrung financially on anybody really on their current backs with the two McDaniel guys and Mostert and Jeff Wilson, and then the rookie. So it's not like if they do add him, they're got some, huge albatross in the backfield. If anything, I think Dalvin Cook will probably be looked upon that. I don't know if his deal is going to be looked upon as outrageous. But yeah, the QB1 being impressed with Achane right away was pretty goosies, dude. It was pretty goosey. Listen, a lot of what Tua said was goosies galore, dude. The fact that he's going out there, sleeved up, bulked up, ready to go, jiu-jitsu'd up, geed up, and is looking forward to this year. And I like the fact that, he's putting it out there when asked, like, what kind of a contender are the Dolphins? And he says that we're legit contenders. He says they're legit contenders. He's he kind of went like, hopefully he can make it through an entire season, win a playoff game, we can win a Super Bowl and all that good stuff. But, like, when flat out asked if he was a contender, yeah, legit contenders. And I think that for this team, for him to put that out there, for him to say that, the offense can be very scary and very dangerous, I think everybody here is in a couple of camps with the Dolphins because, you're talking 23 years since a playoff win. And so, yeah, that landmark would be nice. But also, they are very much all in also. Like, we've seen the stinky teams take a little bit of be able to quickly turn things around and hit those landmarks. And I think for the Dolphins, like, you've seen what's gone down here in South Florida with all these teams, the Heat going to the finals, the Panthers going to the Stanley Cup, Final Four for the Canes, Final Four for FAU, the Marlins until this recent, turd fest were looking pretty impressive. Messi's on the Pinks, and all that's great. But the Dolphins are, the heritage team down here. I do think that this town would just go ballistic if they had any type of a legit playoff run. Not just a playoff win, but a playoff run. And I just feel like you go get Jalen Ramsey, you pay Vic Fangio what you do. You've given out your $100 million contracts up the wazoo. Stephen Ross has gone all in with his checkbook on this. I don't think it's an outrageous thing to go and say that your expectation for this Dolphins team is at least getting to the conference championship. For me. And I know that the AFC is a bear. I know that it's like, you think about, the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Ravens, you think about, if we got to throw the Jets and we got to throw the Bills in there, the Browns with, maybe a Deshaun Watson bounce back year. Chargers, like there's the Jaguars. There are a lot of teams that you can look upon and be like, damn, that team can, that there are teams there that could make some run, but there's no reason why the Dolphins can't hang with any of them. There's no reason why the Dolphins shouldn't look at this and be like, we can do some stuff here. We can make some noise. And I think the way that it would go, and it's tough to know because I'm looking on this way big picture, and the season can change how you feel about things. I think with last year, you thought this team was going somewhere, and then it was such a roller coaster ride. But because there were so many fun moments, you were okay with the unsatisfactory ending because, like, your backup quarterback was in there. You didn't really get your puncher's chance with QB1 in there, and that's like two of the storylines. Like, look, obviously, what hangs over all of this year is his health, and if he gets through it, everybody I think is now more so in the fan base. More so on the side of, yeah, this guy's legitimately good and he can lead them places. So if he does stay healthy, I do feel like the expectation is, hey, you got to make not just a playoff win, but you got to make a playoff run. And I think that at the minimum probably should end with, one game away from the big game. Because I feel like I was saying, Super Bowl or bust, that's a bit of a jackass thing to say, right? Like, okay, going from no playoff wins to Super Bowl or bust. Let's not. I see like that. I would be like, you're crazy. I don't care how die hard. If I cut you open, you bleed aqua and orange. I think Super Bowl or bust, you're a little bit nutty. But I think getting to the dance, that first crack at getting a chance to get a berth there, I don't think that's an outlandish thing to wish for. I really don't. Even with this division possibly being strong and this conference being strong and all that, you got the ponies to hang. You really, really do. And I like the fact that Tagovailoa is talking like that and that he feels that they're not only legit, but they're dangerous. I mean, that's gooses galore, dude.